Afternoon from heaven. I hope you are doing well. And today I want to share with you how you start a project. In my case, I work in a nutritional business and we roam the world looking for the best raw materials for holistic herbal medicine for holistic centers. So, based on our experience working with so many researchers as a subcontractors for even John Hopkins, NASA research, Alabama, etc., etc., we start to learn a lot about the business, about the raw materials, how the raw materials extracted, the nutrient extracted from the raw materials, who are the best labs in the world that don't use any chemicals or heat or solvent or pressure. Um, where is the best raw materials you can get that does not contain chemicals or pesticides or uh, glyphosate, etc., etc. It took us time because when we send these raw materials for researchers, they tell us through their test if it contains high amount of, for example, polyphenols or catechins. So, green tea contains something what you call polyphenols, and many other greens and herbs they contain the same thing. But inside the green tea, there's even more concentrated nutrient. It's called catechins. So the higher the catechins, the more they are interested to work with these raw materials. So you can get green tea from different places around the world, but each one will have different concentration of catechins. So we start to know based on the raw materials we send to John Hopkins or other researchers, their testing showing which one has the highest catechins, and therefore we start to know what ingredient, what raw materials from what city, what mountains, what country, what valley contains those high phytochemicals and nutrients that they need. So today I'm in Southeast Asia, at this gorgeous place right here, enjoying the day with mom. She's inside the mall, a little bit hot, humid here, not that much, but she's enjoying her fruits and fruit juices inside. So, how do you look at a problem? If you notice there's haze up there start to accumulate, haze above the ocean, that's pollution, guys. And I am very sensitive to pollution. My eyes start to get irritated and burning. So, in Southeast Asia, pollution season starts from December till April. So every year is even getting longer. And what you see right now, in the next month, you will not be able to see most of these boats. That's how bad pollution in here. It's not as bad as India or Bangladesh or Pakistan, but it's getting bad here because industrialized revolution here is focusing more on financial development and higher quality of life, and not on this. Most essential to me is really atmosphere and clean air and clean water, because I don't care how luxury this life is. I don't care how beautiful you can live here on relatively very reasonable price compared to Miami or United States. But when you have a smog above you and your eyes are irritated and you're coughing and you have to breathe every single second, you cannot stop breathing. And when we looked at the research, we showed, it showed in the research from Southeast Asia, breast cancer increased by 40% just in the last several years. Mouth cancer, esophagus cancer, throat cancer increased dramatically. And they say it's related to pollution. And there's no real solution except getting the traditional treatments that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. In the case of Southeast Asia, start at $30,000 and go up to $100,000. And most people are not really covered by insurance. It's very heavy burden on the health care system of any country, especially in Southeast Asia. So how do I take a problem and turn it into an opportunity? Something that irritates me, something that bothers me. How can I help other people really lower the risk of these horrible diseases from air pollutants? I have to start looking at my research and my the researchers that I worked with and connect with them to see have they done any research on such a thing. For the last year, I've been doing this, and finally, I got to talk to the direct researcher, one of the researcher for this project, which unfortunately he died just a few months ago at Mont Blanc mountain. He was mountain climbing in France. But I was able to get the exact formula, and we were able to do what you call start a patent process. The problem in Southeast Asia is language barrier. Now, in Singapore, I don't have this problem. In Philippines, I don't have this problem. You'll have this problem in Vietnam, in Thailand, in some of these places, in Korea. And these places are the one who makes the best supplement product that you need to work with. So how do I crush time? How do I crush time down instead doing a project for a year and a half, 2 years, and make it into 3 months? Because this season of pollution started, and that's gonna be the talk of the town and the city and the social media and the TV for the next 5 to 6 months in all Southeast Asia, from Malaysia to Indonesia to Thailand to Vietnam, even to Singapore. It gets to them because they are surrounded by these countries and the air around these countries. So we were able to look into the research, and we found out amazing health benefits. So we designed a preliminary design for a product. As you can see here, this is the preliminary design for our labels on our products. So one in liquid, one in capsules. Now we are waiting for approval from their FDA registration here to allow us to call the product what we want to call it: 24/7 Air-Detox or smog out 24/7. One of those two. So this is the preliminary one. Now the problem is we have to make the product. We haven't made it yet. We have already a factory who said they can make it. And then we have to make sure that we have the website running, which we have not made. And we need the 3 languages on the website, because most people in Southeast Asia, they come from all over the world. English is number 1. And the other 2 languages are the most important, that you want to check which economy in Southeast Asia is very strong and people can afford to buy these products, your demographics. Basically, Thailand, Singapore don't need another language, don't need a different language. They speak English very well. Malaysia, they speak English very well. The problem is Thailand, Indonesia, and Vietnam. And there's a lot of wealthy people in these countries that will look into this, especially for kids. I mean, you're talking cancer, heart, many health issues. Even they relate right now pollution to rheumatoid arthritis, according to one of the U.S. research that we were looking at. So let's hope by January we'll have our product ready to be sold in Southeast Asia. And then we can expand to the Gulf region, because Saudi Arabia, Dubai, Kuwait, Qatar, they have a desert, barely rains, lots of oil refineries and oil business in there. And literally, if you've been to Dubai, you can see the sky is yellow. So there's pollution there also. And that is a big healthcare, additional healthcare expenditure on their budget because of the pollution. I wish we can clean smog from the air directly. Well, this technology doesn't exist yet unless the whole world turns into electric or hydrogen. And now if you need to generate electricity, you have to use fossil fuel, or you're going to be able to use some clean energy, which is not able to generate electricity for the whole world at this speed level of innovation and development, especially in the countries who are developing, and even in the Western world, where countries start to revamp their system, their old factories. They need to start, building new cities like Dubai, like what's going on in Saudi Arabia, like what they have done in China now. They have a huge revolution. I mean, Beijing is very, very polluted. It was 7-8 years ago, and now they start to clean up their mess with their new technology, using lots of electric power cars and vehicles, and hydrogen also. So this product here I'm sharing with you this journey. So I hope if you have a vision, you start. And I can tell you, this one here, for example, we don't have all the money we need right now. We don't have the money. The Lord will give you an idea, but He doesn't bless the idea. He blessed the work. You are made on the image of God. This idea came to me, not from me, from the Lord, because it bothered me so much, and I've heard so many other people bothered by it, that I said, "What? How can we make a solution?" Now, this does not have a demographic. It affects every single person, especially elder and young people. Elder who are already sick, they're gonna suffer even more, or people who had asthma or heart issue, they suffer even more than the people who are healthy. And young people, by the time they're 20 and they're living in big cities like Hanoi or Bangkok with this pollution, that sometimes they even close their schools for a week and 2 weeks, and they let their government employees go home because of the high pollution concentration. They can't even walk in the streets. So how can you make a difference in people's lives and make something that will benefit the world, and in return, the Lord reward our work? So this is what I believe in, that many people are afraid to take the first step. Now, I don't know how to do the licensing. I don't know here. We have to have another partner. They have rules. He has to own 51%. How am I going to give somebody 51% when he didn't do anything? When I'm going to spend 50, 60, $70,000 just to do this product and to do a little bit of advertising. I don't know who's going to do the website, but I know that as long as I take the first step, I found the manufacturer, finally, the right manufacturer. We have applied for the FDA approval, and then we're waiting for it. In the next few days, we should know. And then we decide on the name by doing focus group. And then after that, we're going to be building the website, or I can do them simultaneously. I'm talking to somebody about the website. How can we build it? Yes. So he's ready to build it, but we want to make sure that our product approved, the name is approved, and everything's fine. And then we want to make sure, where can we make the most noise? Okay, government official who works with the environmental business, holistic doctors, hospitals, invite some people to maybe a presentation, beautiful presentation about this product, etc., etc. You start somewhere, and the Lord will bless your work. Cleanse your motive, purify your heart, love everyone, forgive your enemies, as the Lord Yeshua al-Mashiach had told us to do. Shalom, shalom, shalom. And the Lord will make your business prosper and make you fruitful. This was the promise in Genesis. Go, be fruitful and multiply, and live the life of the dreams that so many people around the world are dreaming of, but they're not taking that step. They're not taking that leap of faith. They're not taking that risk, and they're waiting for things to happen. Nothing happens until you make it happen. Adios from heaven.